What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, I sat down with a second-year agent who is already in the top 10% of real estate agents, got off to a extremely fast start. Wait till you hear how long it took her to get her first listing. She's got a big announcement as well about a new part of her business about to launch. Welcome to the show, Angela Zere. Welcome to the show today, Angela. How are you doing?
I am well, Dan. Thank you. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to have you on today and tell your story to real estate agents out there, just how possible, how it's possible in today's market to start quickly. So why don't you give the listeners and people watching on YouTube a little background on how you got started in real estate and how you did it so fast in particular.
Okay, yeah. So I've been doing this for almost 2 years. And, I was a little worried when I first started because I thought that I was, I didn't want to be a sales person, just I wasn't sure if that's like what I was cut out to be. Until I started reading sales books and I was like, yes, this is definitely my thing. But I feel like I realized that real estate, being a realtor, is about creating relationships. And that is something I'm really good at. And so I feel like, just I talk about my business when I'm in the line at Trader Joe's. Everybody at Trader Joe's knows what I do. I talk about my business all the time. I want everybody to know. And I'm always handing my business cards out. And actually that's how I got, my first couple listings. And so yeah, just talking about what I do all the time, not being a secret agent. And I feel like, people, they want to come and see what I'm doing.
I think that's a great point on not being a secret agent. You hear that so often, and for some reason, a lot of agents are secret agents. So what gave you the confidence and the ability to go out and tell people, I'm Angela and I sell homes? Like
Yeah.
where do you think that came from?
I think that one thing I know, like, growth happens in that, when you're not in your comfort zone. And so was it comfortable to knock on doors? Because that's what I did. I knocked on doors in my neighborhood and said, hey, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm a realtor now. And so that's, probably my third listing that I got doing that. And it was nerve-wracking. I mean, no doubt, completely nerve-wracking. But I feel like again, I wanted to grow. And I knew it wasn't going to happen in my comfort zone, sitting at home and, maybe even just posting on social media, which I did as well. I made sure to tell everybody. So I guess just that drive to grow and knowing that that's, what it was going to take. And I think maybe it's part of my personality. Like I'm really a, do what it takes to get it done kind of person. So yeah.
I think all of those attributes are things that contribute to the success of agents that do well and do well fast. You hear a lot of different speakers and trainers say exactly what you said about growth. And almost all growth comes from getting out of your comfort zone. So you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, which clearly
Exactly.
you are. Did you have a certain strategy or area, or like were you kind of picking a geographic place or just people you knew or the area you lived in? How did you go about, deciding who you were going to tell that you were an agent?
Right. Well, I read your book when I was taking the course, right? So the HyperFast agent. And one of the things you mentioned in the book is to find your niche. And I was like, I don't even know where to start with that. So I just started in my neighborhood and my friends. And so that's exactly what I did. I walked around the circle of my neighborhood and I knocked on doors. I actually bought some little door hangers. So when people didn't answer the door, which get used to that, most people won't answer the door. So I just wanted to make sure if they weren't going to answer the door, I left something for them. And actually, I take that back. So before I got the door hangers, I was just leaving my card because I was super unprepared. And to actually, okay, so scale it back one. So I actually went around my neighborhood before I even had business cards. And so what I did was I ended up writing out some blank cards, just saying like, hey, I'm not just your neighbor, I am also a realtor. And so I got that, little phrase from, I don't know, somewhere online, Pinterest or something. And so I just started there. Yeah. So
How long
I
did
didn't
it?
have
How
a
long
lot
did
of
it?
tools, but I just went for it.
How long did it take from the time you got your license and started till when you had your first deal?
So I actually ended up getting my license. It was sometime the end of November, but then I, paid my dues and all of that stuff and became a realtor December 1st. And I actually went to my homeschool group, and there was a new mom, but I was also telling the moms in my homeschool group, hey guys, I got my business cards. Of course, they knew before I got my business cards that I was a realtor because I told them immediately when I knew my license was coming in. And so I started handing out my business cards, and one of the moms said, hey, we actually need a realtor. So then I had my listing appointment, and that's something else I learned pretty quickly is that, everybody that I've ever talked to that is like, hey, I need your services, and you think they're just going to get back to you, right? You have to get in front of your clients. So that's one thing immediately I said to her, and of course, I had a little bit of, I read a lot of sales books before I became a realtor, so I've learned some stuff. But so December 1st, became a realtor, and then and that's when I gave out my business card, and then I had my first listing appointment December 2nd, because I was like, when can I come
Oh
to your
wow.
house? Tomorrow? Yes, come to my house tomorrow. So yeah, so I went to her house the very next day. So
Wow.
it was very
So
quick.
that's probably one of the quickest I've ever heard of between time to license and time to first listing. So
Yeah, that was my
that's
listing
amazing,
appointment.
right? And just shows how quickly things can happen if you are getting out of your comfort zone, right? So wrapping up your second year now, or you're about to wrap it up. What do you project your sales volume will be for year two for 2022?
So year two, my goal is 7 million. Um, I am a little more than halfway, so I've got a lot of work to do. But I don't doubt it. I'm pretty driven, so I have to constantly look at those. I have a little notebook that I write everything in, and my goals are right at the front of it. So I have to pass that every day that I'm, writing stuff down. I have to remind myself. So
Well, that's almost twice the average, I think, of all of the realtors, combined, like National Association Realtors averages. So you're, already in year two, kind of doing double the average. So the strategy of friends, family, door knocking a certain neighborhood definitely is working for you, and you're doing it in a year that's tough. Actually, I was reading a statistic from the National Association of Realtors earlier today. Actually, it said in the first 6 months of 2022, less than 8% of all agents did 4 deals.
really?
So,
Wow.
yeah, shocking, right? So this is not an easy environment, and you kind of started off in a different environment where everything was crazy. People were writing contracts left and right, low inventory, bidding wars, all of that, and then it kind of all of a sudden that stopped with the higher interest rates, and it's right. So you've kind of seen two different markets in a very, very short amount of time, but still pressing ahead, and definitely in like the top 10% of what all agents are doing.
Hold that thought for a second. Did you know I've been involved in developing and building hundreds of homes? And did you know that we take partner investors in our deals? If you want to learn about new opportunities that we have for real estate investors, go to my Instagram account. It's the Dan Lesniak, and send me a direct message. Again, if you want to learn about my next opportunities for real estate investor partners, go to my Instagram at the Dan Lesniak and send me a direct message.
That's really interesting.
So-
So yeah, the beginning of this year was definitely like, my best few months. So, but I will
What,
say, oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. No, continue, please.
I was going to say what I did end up, I think what really set me up for those great months at the beginning of this year was that I learned to lead generate last year. And I started around October, November. And I actually did a 61 day challenge, actually Scott Grove's lead generate challenge. And so I followed that, did the 61 days. And then I just it was very challenging because it was like all of those, hey, we're about to do something, kind of did something all at the same time. So I went from, closing, so in 2021, closing like one-ish deal a month to like 6 in February. And so, and being a homeschool mom, like I was like, I don't know how I can handle this. But it really, that lead generating is what got me, those huge months in February, March, April. So
What were
just taking
you? What? And we actually had Scott on the show a few weeks ago. I think his episode came out, or maybe a
Yeah,
month
I
or two
saw
ago.
that.
So, but what methods were you using, and what was successful to generate leads?
One thing that I found out is that lead generating the same time every day doesn't work. And so I was just kind of looking at my calendar for the day and then saying, okay, where do I have an hour? And so I was kind of playing around with it, like, let's try from this time to this time. There were times when, because what I would always do is set basically an hour on my phone and it would count down. And so if I'm on the phone for, making 3 calls and it was 40 minutes, then I have 20 minutes left. I can't do it now, but I'll do it later. And so I made sure to do that 1 hour a day, even if it wasn't all all at the same time. But I found that sometimes it worked better to call people after dinner. Sometimes it worked better to call people, at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is my ideal time. It just really depended on the day. And I wish I could say like this time is the best time or that time is the best time, but I feel like just getting people at all times of the day has been beneficial, and calling that person. And I take a lot of notes when if I actually get a hold of that person. And, the one thing I have to say too is that to be persistent, because I've had leads that, I literally had to call that lead 19 times in order for them to actually pick up the phone. And so my method for a little bit was they're either going to pick up the phone and tell me to stop calling them, or they're going to tell me how I can help them, And so I've never had anybody pick up the phone and tell me to stop calling, but I've had people pick up the phone and apologize because they got all my messages and they weren't able to call me back. So that actually shocked me. Really shocked me. I was not expecting that.
I think that's an interesting strategy, because a lot of people will tell you like time block, do your lead gen, and for most people, I think they think when they hear time block and do your lead gen, like, it's always from 10 to 11, right? But then there could be people that always are in a meeting then, or
Right.
doing something at school, with their kids, or who knows what, right? Everyone's got different schedules, so that's an interesting thing to point out, and you could time block it, I guess, like on, certain days you do it on this time, certain the other, or it seems like you with the, homeschooling your kids, which is amazing. And we actually do that too, but, you never know when you might have a minute or an hour, right? Free. But I've got goals to hit, right? You're writing this down every day, seeing that. So sometime during the day when you get some free time, you're calling leads.
Yes.
What's been the biggest challenge for you in your first 2 years in the business, or almost first 2 years?
Um, let's see. My biggest challenge, gosh, it's been different every time. So in the beginning, I had some really big challenges. My first two listings actually fell through, and actually I almost gave up real estate. It was just really, it was really insane. But I even called my lender. I don't know if it's okay to throw a name out there, but Avante Candidate from OVM. So I actually called him and, I told him, I was like, Avante, I don't even know if this, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. This is really rough. I just lost my second listing in a row. I've worked, 40 hours a week just doing so much stuff, and I don't get paid until I close, right? And so it's, going on months of no closings. It's just getting crazy. And he said, if our job was easy, if, mortgages and real estate was easy, everyone would be doing it. It's not easy. So what is your next best thing? What do you need to do next to get the ball rolling? What is, who is the next client you need to call? And so I was like, all right. And then, immediately I called a couple referrals that I had, and I ended up getting them under contract pretty quickly. So I think in the beginning, I would say it was the deals falling through, things not working out as planned. And then, definitely my second year, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's almost the opposite. It almost never goes as planned. And if it does, kudos. I don't think I've had one transaction where, it's like, whoa, that was easy. Not one. So yeah, just really that was probably the challenge the first year. The second year, I also found, because I've done a lot, most of my deals are with buyers. I've had a bunch of listings as well, but mostly with buyers. So my biggest stressor were listing agents. Goodness, they're rotten.
Yeah,
but
well,
I
they held a lot of power the last few years, but I think that's
sure
shifted,
did.
and
I have
the ones
my
that were
list, right?
too
I'm
rotten
looking back
are
at that list.
yeah.
But then I also realized that it's really challenging when you have a listing, you've got 30 offers, and you've got to get back to 29 of them to tell them that we didn't accept your offer. So I mean, I get it. So it was just a challenging market for everyone, but so fun. It was so fun to ride that wave when it was here, and that's actually so it's the only market that I've known. Of course, I didn't know before, 2021, basically. And so it was really interesting to see that market shift, because that's kind of like the first market shift that I've experienced. And dealing with a lot of buyers and having a lot of buyers sitting by the market just waiting for their thing to come up right now has been really beneficial for me and my buyers. This market kind of slowing a bit. It's a little easier for us to get what we want. So yeah, hope that was answering
What do you
question.
No, that was great. What do you think is ahead in the market the next 6 months, 12 months, and what are you doing to prepare for that?
An I believe that things are just going to kind of stabilize a little bit. It'll be a little bit more of an even playing field. And even then, I'm just kind of waiting to see. I feel like with my business, I want to make sure that that I am set up for whatever kind of market. So I never want to, be stuck in one way of doing things. So just sort of fluid in how things go, so that when the market does shift, we're not like, oh no, this is the way things go. And I'm kind of seeing that now. Even some listing agents are doing the same thing that they were doing 6 months ago, with listings coming out on the market, and they're just sitting for 30 days or whatever. And I'm like, and they're and things aren't changing, and I'm like, it's not the same market. So just being fluid and in that's how I plan to do it. And then again, I feel like I kind of am listening to what everybody's saying about the market and what they think is going to happen. But I feel like, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, mostly not realtors or mortgage brokers say that the market's going to crash, right? And I definitely don't believe that. I don't believe that it's the same market that, we're not really seeing the same thing that we were seeing in 2000, what was it, 2006? Those were mortgages that people couldn't afford. And so then having to foreclose and then having a bunch of inventory on the market, whereas we're not, I think we're still low on inventory. And so that is a totally different market, right? So we've got, low inventory. The demand has gone down a little bit because of the rise of interest rates. But I do, my lender said that rates should come down. So with that being the case, maybe we'll have a little more, demand going on. But yeah, it's hard to tell.
Hold that thought for a second. Are you a new real estate agent looking to jumpstart your career? Or perhaps you are an experienced agent looking to build and scale and get to the next level. If you are, I've got great news for you. After building and scaling multiple real estate businesses, I am now taking my real estate team to all 50 states. In fact, it's going to be international. I'm going to offer cutting-edge technology, training in lead generation, team building, investing, and additional opportunities to build revenue streams. If you are interested and want to learn more about this opportunity, send me a text message directly to my cell phone, 703-638-4393. Again, text me at 703-638-4393.
Well, it seems like no matter what, you will be ready for it. You've
Yes.
also made or are about to make a big change as well. Do you want to share that with the HyperFast Nation as well?
Yeah, sure. So I am actually moving to EXP, and I'm super excited about it. So just really looking forward to having my business grow and, I want to be with a company that's agent focused. And I think that's gonna be a change, a different, I guess a little fire under my bottom to really, launch and brand myself, because that's not currently what I have. So.
Well, that's one of the amazing things about EXPs. They really, they're not just agent focused, they're agent owned. It's like 70% of the company's owned by the agents and founders, and they really do put the emphasis on the agent or the team, developing the branding, the marketing, and really building your own business. And they like to think of themselves as the operating platform for people that want to come on and build an amazing business. So if people out there are interested, want to learn more why you joined, or or the benefits they would get from joining with you, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
So message, email, call, text, whatever. I'm excited about building this group, this I guess group. So I feel like, my group is going to have like amazing coaches, and I'm super excited about that. You and Tim, and yeah, I think if you're looking to do amazing things in your business, you're looking to grow and be a top agent, then you need to learn from top agents, and you need to grow, with that mindset. So I feel like I need to align myself with that.
And where Yeah, if people want to like message you on social media or connect, how do they do that? What's
So
like the
I'm
handle or
actually,
name to look up?
yep. Um, so I am let me actually just pull it up so I don't make any mistakes here. Um, well, first of all, my cell phone, should I give my cell phone number? That's fine,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, they can text you.
So my cell phone is 757-561-7641. You can text me, give me a call. And then my handle on Instagram is Williamsburg Realtor. So that's like Williamsburg, Virginia, Realtor. And then my email is Zere, A Z as in zebra, ERE, Realtor @gmail.com. So you can email me anytime, text, call, send me a message on Instagram.
All right. Well, Angela, we always like to end with a HyperFast round. If you're ready for a couple rapid fire, quick Q&A session here to wrap up.
Okay.
All right.
Sure.
What's your biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent?
Ooh, just find your next best thing to do. What's your next best thing? You know, you don't have a client. What's the next best thing to do? You know, make some phone calls, go knock on some doors, talk to people, tell people what you do.
What's something you're doing now in your business that you were not doing a year ago?
A year ago, lead generating.
What's something that you wish every agent did, but a lot of them don't do?
Answer your phone. Return calls. You know, return texts.
All right, last one. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I will definitely have a team, a top producing team, and potentially, you know, getting into coaching, teaching people
All
how
right,
to do the same thing.
well, we definitely wish you success on that journey. And yeah, I'm excited to watch it myself personally. And thank you for being on the show. And to all of our listeners and viewers out there, thank you for tuning in. Please share this episode with other people that you think would learn from it and get inspiration from Angela's quick success story and getting out of her comfort zone and, you know, approaching 7 million in year 2. All that was amazing. So please share this with other people that would benefit from listening and watching, and we will see you next time. Real estate agents, I have built out a group in all 50 states, in many different countries as well, and I'm looking for people that want to partner with me and get the benefit of not 1, but 2 nationally recognized coaching programs to help grow your business. If you are ready to join me at EXP or want to learn more information about it, I would be honored if you would send me a text message at 703-638-4393. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure and go to hyperfastagent.com to learn about upcoming in-person and online events. And don't forget to share this show with someone that you think could benefit from hearing it, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube or anywhere that you can find podcasts.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the HyperFast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest HyperFast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe.